Chapter 8 The New Drug.
I don't know. I feel like the landscape of social though is just gonna keep evolving like really towards storytelling and short form because the whole world is addicted to their phones.
Yes.
Which is also like the double-edged sword. At what point do people quit it or like not want to use them anymore? But dude, even people who don't post on social media are still viewing social media. Like that's the consume create thing.
Yeah.
There's so many consumers in the world.
Myself included. Yeah. Even though I'm a creator, I'm sure you can relate. You're a consumer as well.
You kind of have to.
You have to, because you have to be in touch with the frontier.
Especially for video. If you're like an artist, if you're a painter or a sculptor, you can never go on social media ever probably.
Sure.
You're just like letting your mind run free.
The art world surrounding video though, it moves so fucking fast. It moves on a day-to-day basis. Like one day it's a trend.
Cool and the next day it's not.
Dude, it's exhausting, but also like really stimulating at the same time.
And that's why it's like constantly like taking what's working and then innovating what's working, and then like you said, like the leapfrogging, the piggyback
art, leapfrog art.
Leapfrog art.
Do you think that it's going to be? Do you think there's going to be like a bubble burst, like a breaking point where people are like, okay, people's mental health is like seriously degrading. Like, you know, our employees cannot focus.
People's mental health is degrading because they spend way too many hours on their phone. That's a personal problem.
I agree.
It's no one else's problem.
I agree.
But the user.
Okay, here, let me tell you, I'm just putting this thought together right now. But let's say you put cocaine into the pockets of the entire population.
Yeah. Instagram.
Right.
TikTok.
But like, let's say you actually put cocaine into the pockets of, would you classify that as a personal problem? Like everyone addicted to the cocaine in their pocket. That's all their individual
problem. Put the cocaine in their pocket by downloading and using the app. No one forced it.
What if the cocaine was marketed as a miracle drug?
I mean, isn't that what they did with like the painkillers? And like all these people got addicted to painkillers because they said it was super good for you, and then the Sackler family.
Sure, I'm just trying to get to the heart of like who's to blame here. Is it the individual?
That's the thing is like I don't view the victim mindset is like if you do drugs and get addicted to drugs, is that like your fault or is that a disease? If it's your fault and not a disease, then that's one argument. If it's considered a disease, then you have an addictive personality disease.
Yes.
But like social media, like I'm very like realist, like view it as like you could, if you're pissed off with your life and depressed and you're on social media 8 hours a day, delete the apps.
Yeah.
Fucking take a hammer and smash your phone.
Yeah.
Get a flip phone.
Yeah.
Get one of these phones that doesn't offer social media, like get your life together for a month or two. I didn't have a sip of alcohol all of 2020. I didn't drink for like a year and a half. I was just focused on building my business and like getting better as a creator.
The thing with alcohol though is that alcohol companies aren't ever increasing the potency of the alcohol or the addictiveness of the alcohol. Like,
I mean, it's just addictive naturally, but like it's like the most addicted substance in the world. Like there's the most amount of addicted users, but it's given freely.
Well, I would argue if you classify social media as a drug, that social media itself targets more sensory neurons than alcohol.
That's a great point.
Like I think
we just like too many people don't view it as a drug. They view it as like normal. Which goes back to like no one's ever bored anymore because they go to social media to get their fix whenever they're like could potentially be bored.
Yes. I just think there's a lag. Like same with alcohol. There's a point where we didn't classify alcohol as like a super dangerous drug. I think this goes back to my original question. Do you think there's going to be a bubble burst? Like, do you think people are going to be like, wow, this is actually a fucking drug? And
I think people probably started to realize that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I think with a lot of like,
but there's a difference between realizing that it's harmful and then also
here's the other argument.
Put it down.
If you are addicted to YouTube or Netflix, is Netflix a drug? Because it's media. Could you sit and watch 8 hours of Netflix a day? If you don't have a job, you sit at home and watch 6 hours of Netflix a day. Is that the same drug as social media? Could TV be a drug?
No, because social media has the unexpected component, the slot machine effect.
Yeah, that's true. The slot machine effect is like one of the most addicting. It's like it's taken directly from a casino. In a casino, you'll see people like get a paycheck and go blow the whole thing on slot machines.
It's the lizard brain.
Yeah.
And this actually, it's so interesting. My guiding star, I'm not religious personally. My guiding star is biology. Like I ground all of my rationale in biology, and I can justify all of the actions that we do based on like our primitive biological workings. And social media hijacks our sensory neurons or our sensory perceptive stimuli and totally runs amok with it. And I think it's only increasing, and that's why I think it's dangerous. And then just to tail off that, the fucking Apple Vision Pro. Dude,
So anti putting things like in your face, like a couple inches from your eyes. That to me,
I get it. You can have any stance you want, but inevitably in 10, 20 years, it's going to be fucking, we're going to have shit in our fucking noses, man.
I'm not. I will move to Montana or another country and just live off the grid.
All right, let's pretend you're not going to do that.
I mean, I have zero interest in like chipping my brain or doing any type of like the phone's already the closest to being robotic for me.
Yeah.
Just because well, I mean, the power of a phone, if used properly, I mean, you can run a business off a phone. You can contact anyone you want in the world off
Yeah.
a phone.
That's how I met you.
Yeah, I mean, I contacted Casey, because of Twitter. Like a video went viral, followed each other, DM'd each other, came out here, worked for him, and now have an office that he used to have with 2 other friends. It's the power of the phone and the internet and social media is what's changed my life. So for me, like I could argue that it's been the greatest drug of my life.
Same with me.
So like
Yeah.
that's the other side is like that's the creator aspect of
yes.
using the drug at your
Yes.
advantage, which is no different. Like this argument is like. It's like Barry Bonds ripping steroids to be the best home run hitter in the world. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, they used a drug to their positive advantage that might have been illegal in the sport and they got shunned for it. It's different in sports. That's probably a bad example, but
I think a better example would be using cocaine in like the business world to like have like get a competitive advantage.
yeah,
like,
that's like, I would say cocaine. I'd say like Adderall. Like
Sure.
guys that don't need Adderall, or people that don't need Adderall that take it every day are gonna have an advantage if they can be focused, work on something for 14 hours a day.
yeah, totally.
Like using any type of like ADHD drug, if it benefits you and you don't need it, might not be good for you, but you're channeling like it into potentially like whatever you're focused on.